for writing about a foreign country? What does this tell you about England? What does this tell you about Israel? What does it tell you about the so-called freedom of expression in the West? Right? So this is the problem. Like, this is the problem of dealing with people.
So let me ask you a question, Bاسم. Let me ask you a question, because I've given Jonathan a hard time. I think he's deserved it after some of the things he said. And let me give you a different type of question. The Israelis say, and have said from the start, all that has to happen is Hamas release the remaining hostages. And they have steadfastly refused to release the people that they kidnapped on October the 7th, 2023. Why don't they release the hostages? And do you condemn them for not releasing them?
You see, this is the problem.
Is that going hard on him, Piers? Really? Do you condemn Hamas? Seriously?
Your voice is annoying. Stop. Your voice
so
is
annoying. Yours, but that's okay.
Maybe.
But I manage.
I know. But you know what? People pay to come to my shows. They wouldn't pay to come to yours. Anyways, so here's the.
I'm not going to go into a pissing contest with who's a better comedian.
Because you will lose.
You can have that title. You can be a satirican.
You will definitely lose.
Answer my question.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let's talk about credibility. Now, this is what Israel claims. Why would I believe anything that Israel says?
Piers, did you ask him a question, or is this another monologue?
Yeah, I do want an answer to the question, Bاسم. I think that's only fair, right? I mean, it's a very straightforward question.
I'm telling you, this is Israel claims. Why do I believe a liar? Israel has lost its... Israel has...
Well, you don't dispute there are still hostages, do you? Or do you?
Yeah. These negotiations have fallen many times within the government because people inside the Netanyahu government didn't went through...
Yeah, but that wasn't the question I asked you.
You have testimonies from...
But hang on, Bاسم, that wasn't the question I asked you. I simply said, why haven't they released the hostages? And do you...
Well, you can ask Hamas
well,
for
hang
this,
on,
because I'm not a Hamas
let me
representative.
remind you, and do you condemn Hamas for not releasing them?
Oh, my God. Do you condemn Hamas? Yes, I condemn Hamas. This is great. Even if they have hostages, even if Hamas was a vampire sucking baby's blood, what is happening there is not justifiable. You do not destroy a whole population.
That's a different question. It's a different question. Bاسm, that's a different question. And I agree with you. By the way, Bاسm, I actually agree with you, but my question is very simple. Should Hamas release the hostages, and does the fact they keep refusing to, do you condemn that? A simple question.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. Hamas have agreed to, again, I'm not a Hamas representative. I cannot speak for them. But we all know that Hamas has agreed. And Israel comes. No. Israel has sabotaged this deal many times based on testimonies from inside the Israeli government and from the family of the hostages. Israel is the one that's been sabotaging this.
But answer my questions.
I am answering your questions.
You're not.
It's not that because Israel has sabotaged.
Should they release the hostages, and do you condemn them for not releasing them?
Of course they should. Of course they should.
And do you condemn them for taking the hostages and not releasing them?
I condemn Hamas for not releasing the country, and I condemn Israel for keeping more than 25,000 hostages in Israel. Half of them is women and children, right? And it is, again, let me go back to my point. Credibility. Israel has lied many times. You have the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, went in front of the UN right before they bombed Lebanon. And he said every house in South Lebanon, in their kitchen, in their garage, harbors a missile for Hezbollah. If this is not comedy, what is this? How can you believe someone who said something?
Have you been to southern Lebanon?
And he said,
have you been there? Do you know anything about it? No, of course, don't say that. Have you been there? Do you know anything about it? Out of the three of us, I'm actually the only guy who's been there. You haven't been there. You don't know about it. I'm quite sure that you haven't seen intelligence about Hezbollah operations. And I'm quite sure that Piers hasn't either. I can tell you that I've seen it with my own eyes. Yes, I have seen tunnels underneath houses in Lebanon. I have seen houses that Hezbollah used for military purposes. And when you speak about lying, well, at least you should have something to back up your claims. You're saying nonsense. You don't know what you're talking about. You're cheap TV talk.
Don't talk over each other, Jonathan. There's no point. Let Bاسم finish and then respond. It's fine.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, finish your point, Bاسm, and let Jonathan respond.
It's fragile, always deeply hurt state. While they're doing that while holding the gun. Israel is what happens when you give a very advanced military to a Karen. Actually, he looks like a Karen. He looks like a